These celebs could teach you a thing or two. Welcome to MsMojo, and today we'll be counting down our picks for the top 10 celebrities who were teachers before they were famous.
And always have your back up. So you think of your chest out, and when you lift, and then you're going to do a good yell.
Before we begin, we publish new videos every day, so be sure to subscribe for more great content. For this list, we'll be looking at celebrities of all sorts who spent at least part of their pre-fame time teaching. All forms of educating qualify for this list, so long as it's not the occupation they're known for now, and it took place before they became famous. Number 10. Sheryl Crow. If all one had to go by was the "If It Makes You Happy" music video, then the idea of Sheryl Crow as a teacher might be hard to wrap your head around. But given that she holds a BA in music composition, performance, and education from the University of Missouri, and was also a member of the Sigma Alpha Iota International Music Fraternity for Women, Miss Crow, music teacher, actually makes sense. Herself the daughter of a piano teacher, Crow taught music at Kellyson Elementary in Fenton, Missouri, before heading out to LA to pursue a music career, proving if it makes you happy, it can't be that bad.
And she couldn't afford to buy the things out of her salary to fit her classroom.
Number 9. Barack Obama.
It was really fun, and I missed it.
While certain elements of his life, real or fictional, have been hotly debated, Obama's time as a lecturer at the University of Chicago Law School gets relatively little attention. By all accounts a popular teacher, Obama was offered tenured positions during his 12-year run as a professor, but passed it up in favor of political pursuits. Teaching courses such as current issues in racism and the law, Obama's lecturing days overlapped with both his legal career and time in the Illinois State Senate. Mr. O isn't the only North American leader with teaching experience either. Both LBJ and John Adams taught pre-White House, while Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau was previously a French and math teacher at a private university prep school in Vancouver, British Columbia. Number 8. Stephen King. Before building a horror novel empire, Stephen King was a humble would-be novelist and teacher trying to make ends meet.
It's kind of masochistic, but hey, it pays the bills, you know what I'm saying?
Becoming qualified to teach high school after graduating with a BA in English in 1970, King began his teaching career at Hampton Academy in 1971, with a salary of $6,400. In 1973, however, King sold Carrie, earning an advance of $2,500, and by 1975, $200,000 in paperback rights. In the years that followed, King moved around before returning to Maine in 1977 and again finding work in the classroom, this time teaching creative writing at the University of Maine.
Teaching school is like having battery cables clamped to your brain, and they're always on drain.
Number 7. Billy Crystal. Long before his time at Monsters University, Billy Crystal worked at the much more real but substantially less interesting sounding Long Beach High School.
When I'm a scarer, life will be a non-stop party. Stay out of trouble, well, man.
An alum of the school himself, Crystal found work as a substitute teacher for $42.50 a day, teaching, in his words, everything from English to auto shop. The actor also taught phys ed, but largely used his time in front of the classroom to hone his comedic skills and crack jokes. During this time, he was working with a comedy group, but in retrospect, has referred to that period as him hiding. When he finally went solo, he got his big break.
The minute he took away my authority, I should have quit.
Number 6. Sting. Bus driver, ditch digger, tax clerk. This world-famous bassist had an eclectic resume before enrolling at Northern County's College of Education. Post-graduation, Mr. Sumner taught English for 2 years at St. Paul's First School, which ironically is a secondary school. Sting also served as a soccer coach at St. Catherine's Convent School, where, as he put it, he was the only teacher not in a habit. The bassist eventually left the profession to take music more seriously, but the Police song Don't Stand So Close to Me appears to tap into this time, and the 15-year-old girls who crushed on him. Number 5. Jon Hamm.
I didn't say I was a good teacher.
Everyone's favorite day drinker's educational stint may not have lasted long, but with at least 2 of his former students themselves finding the limelight, he must have been doing something right. Returning to his alma mater, John Burroughs School in Missouri, Hamm taught both the unbreakable Ellie Kemper and House of Cards creator Beau Willimon. Per Kemper, Hamm taught improv and was distractingly handsome, and unsurprisingly quite popular with female students. During this time, Hamm also struck up a friendship with Paul Rudd, and that friendship in part led to the eventual Don Draper trading in St. Louis for LA in 1995.
Kids see the giant bowl of cereal and they smile because, you know, they'd eat a box of it if they could.
Number 4, Mr. T. If Mr. T had to pity every fool who didn't know he used to teach gym, he'd never get anything else done.
Your brother Donnie believed in me when I was a kid in trouble, and now I believe in you.
But as so little is known about T's tenure, a fool could almost be forgiven for their ignorance. What is known is students likely called him Mr. Tiro, as he didn't legally change his name to Mr. T until 1982. Formerly a member of the military police and a Green Bay Packers hopeful, T taught gym in public schools in the Chicago area, alternating between teaching phys ed and his better documented pre-fame gig as a bouncer and bodyguard to stars like Steve McQueen, Diana Ross, and Muhammad Ali. Number 3, Gene Simmons.
I taught 6th grade in Spanish Harlem.
Armed with a Bachelor of Education degree, Gene Simmons seemed destined to a long career of summers off, topped with a nice, tidy pension plan. However, it was not to be. Lasting around 6 months as a 6th grade teacher in New York City's Spanish Harlem, Simmons claimed teaching made him realize he wanted an audience and stage larger than a school could provide him. Mind you, it's also been rumored that he was fired for swapping out Shakespeare for Spider-Man comics, which, if true, proves that he was too cool for school anyways. Number 2, J.K. Rowling. Before the fame, Rowling worked as an ESL teacher in Porto, Portugal. The experience proved to be life-changing, as in short order the future author would find herself married, a new mother, and then a single one. Around this time, Rowling began writing the Harry Potter story.
Better be Gryffindor!
J.K. left Portugal for Edinburgh in 1993, and in 1995 enrolled at the Moray House School of Education at Edinburgh University, graduating with a postgraduate certificate in secondary education in modern languages in 1996. She may very well have returned to teaching with it, had she not received an advance for her first book that very same year.
I was 25 when I had the idea.
Before we unveil our top pick, here are a few honorable mentions.
But Andy, my class is the 5th grade.
Well, I know. I thought if we'd put him in with the bigger kids, he wouldn't look so out of place.
The summer that I built the Apple I computer, I was totally aware that a revolution was close to starting.
Number 1, Hugh Jackman.
Here's the thing. Harlem Village Academies. We are trying to develop the very best teachers.
Long before taking up a residency at Xavier's School for Gifted Youngsters, a young Jackman spent his gap year in 1987 teaching PE at Eppingham School, and by his own account had a ball.
You don't want to go that way. Trust me.
The actor, always a class act, apparently kept in touch with some of his students, and later said he'd hope to return. Jackman finally did visit in 2012, while filming Les Miserables.
You say this man denies it all and gives no sign of understanding or repentance.
However, his gym teaching past didn't really get mainstream attention until an odd red carpet interview wherein he recognized reporter Rollo Ross as one of his former students, and hilariously shifted the conversation to physical fitness.
You know what makes me angry, Rollo? You know, students who don't really listen.
No.
No, it's the kind of student who don't bring their kit. You know, the kind of students who don't jump in the pool when I tell them to jump in. That's what makes me angry, Rollo.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from MsMojo and subscribe for new videos every day.